Okay, this is the second game. I've already kind of gone over everything I wanted to talk to you about with these games because I've cast them all several times now because of my acting up recording software, so I'm going to hopefully try to go through this relatively quickly. This is just another very good example of the same exact problem as before, which is that you had far too few workers, very slow third, too small of an economy to be able to actually support the racks that you made. Because you're making 7 or 8 racks, even though you don't have enough workers to support that many racks. And I think, again, rather than make fewer racks, my advice would be to get more workers. That harass went really, really well for you. I thought that was good. You killed, I think even, yeah, you killed the drone and 11 workers, and you forced him to lose more than you lost, and just all went really good. Good work. So now, at the 12-minute mark, this space is kind of hard because there's no third close. Not this space. This map is kind of hard because there's no third close to you. The only one is this one, and in order to get this one, you have to expose your troops to knock down the rocks, and you never want to expose your troops to combat until 2-2 is done, which means that you can't even knock down the rocks until 2-2 is done, and then that means, you know, like, you can't pre-build your third. So what I do a lot of the time on maps like these is just send 1 Marine and go tell him to hit the rocks, or 2 Marines, and then if your opponent comes and kills that Marine, then who cares, it's just 1 Marine. And so sometimes, I mean, if you send him at like 6 minutes, then the rocks will be down by the time you're ready to expand. Kind of funny. So you're doing a good job of just getting the infrastructure in place and starting on your medevacs. Reactor 2-2 is coming, and when it's finished, it'll be time to go. Your opponent is going for Ling Infester with upgrades. And now he's doing this cute little drop, and you do a great job. Look at that. You saw the drop and you're running away before he even unloads guys on you. That's really good. Really good job. And he just completely abandons the drop and runs away. So that was great. Really good. I don't even know that I would have caught that drop. That was just cool. Good job seeing it and reacting to it on time. So now you're making the same mistake in all 3 of these games, which is instead of pre-building the like, look at this. He knows you're going to knock down these rocks and take this as your third, and so you got to expect to fight as you secure this third, and there's no spread whatsoever. It's ridiculous. And like I said recently, you have got 93 Marines. It's very hard to spread 93 Marines. You can't really effectively carpet bomb spread 93 Marines. You can't really effectively polka dot or colonial line spread 93 Marines. Even an auto spread by attacking a larger thing wouldn't work. So I can see you struggling with this dilemma. Like, you're trying to split your Marines. You're taking little groups out here and little groups out here, but it's impossible. There's just too many of them. So you're at this point trying to bait him into attacking your Marines, and yet you didn't spread them. So if he had attacked your Marines, you would have just lost all of them. So that's kind of crap. You are doing this thing where when you attack somebody, it's hard for them to attack your third, because he's got to put his army over here. So if it's over here, you know it's not over there. So that's good, distracting him while you put down your third. But it's 20 minutes into the game. I'd really like to see your planetary fortress start morphing at 15 minutes when 2-2 finish. And so it's very late to be getting your third. Also, this spread, you misclicked. It was very obvious. So here you're coming in, and look, doesn't it show? No. It should show a green line where they're planning to go, right? So yeah, they're planning to go all the way through here and do a beautiful carpet bomb spread around that. So here they go. They're staying in formation because they're magic boxed, and this is great. And so here comes the unload and oh, and then you clicked on the ground. So then you unloaded them all right there in a big pile. So that's a big pile here, and then you started moving again, and that's a big pile here, and then you stopped and started moving and stopped and started moving and stopped. And now you're floating over a spore crawler, which is kind of silly. Coming in with this second wave of dudes from the back. This is not even necessarily on purpose. You're just kind of got them, I think, in the same control group as your other dudes, and so they're attacking in from the behind. But that actually worked out quite well to have these guys attacking in from behind, because now the infestors are all vulnerable to your incoming second wave. So the fungal growth and spore crawler in combination knocked down all your medevacs, and you lost a bunch of stuff. But if you look, exactly like the first game, you accidentally did exactly what you wanted to do, right? So in the first attack is these northerners, these Norsemen, right? And that first attack goes okay for you, not great, not bad. So you're getting a ton of kills. You're killing more than you lose for a while. But then, because all these medevacs are bunched up, you've got 9 medevacs in a little tiny pile, and fungal growth it takes 4 fungal growths to kill them, but he's going to throw all 4 fungal growths in combination with the spore crawler and knock down all those medevacs. So before the medevacs die, you actually came out ahead on that fight. That was a great fight. And then all the medevacs die because they were all clumped up, and so that's kind of bad. But it's not the end of the world. I don't really care too much about that. So now he came out ahead by 1,000. He's supposed to come out ahead in that first fight. It's not a big deal. He came out ahead by 1,000. So now all of his meat is dead. All of his lings and banelings are dead. And you've still got guys fighting. So he has to fight you with only infestors. So now he throws a fungal growth, but because you have a small number of troops, it's really easy to keep them at a reasonable spread. So that fungal growth can only hit 2 guys. And you're fighting his infestors over here. That fungal growth again only hits 2 guys. You knock down a $250 infestor with 2 marines. Knock down another infestor. He doesn't realize he has drop upgraded. He could just hop into those overlords and fly away. Waste the fungal growth on a banshee. That's good for you. Knock down another infestor. You knock down all these infestors. So now look. You've caught up in units lost just because your second wave encountered a 0 meat Zerg army. So he's got a bunch of guys queued up and ready to spawn, but none of them are out yet. So that's why constant reinforcement is awesome, right? The first wave he's prepared for. The second wave isn't going to show up until long after your second wave is already here. So now also his second wave is going to be pure Zergling, or pure Roach, or pure Zergling Roach. It's not going to be made up of a mixture of all of the perfect units that he wants it to be made up of. So again, you have a huge army back in your base, and if this army had been rallied to the battlefield and attacked again and again and again, then this hatchery would have gone down. I don't think it's a problem that the hatchery didn't go down, because he's not mining from it, because, I don't know, he just chose not to mine from the hatchery, so it's not a big deal that you didn't reinforce. But if you had reinforced, I'm sure this hatchery would have gone down. I'm also sure that a big portion of his lings would have streamed in and died to your reinforcing dudes, and it just would have gone quite well for you. So now you're finally saturating your third at 22 minutes into the game. This is really late to be saturating your third. Also, you're floating your main command center up to a 4th base, which is awesome. I like that you're doing this, but you should have sent Marines first, because, like, he's got an overlord there, dude. Once you have map control, because you've hit him once and then reinforced once and then reinforced a 3rd time, now you have map control because he knows a 4th time is coming, so he can't really leave his base without risking a big disaster. And at that point, you can send 1 Marine to each expo on the map, and 1 Marine can solo a queen. So if he does have an expo up over there, you can usually even knock down the queen with your 1 Marine. Knock down the queen with your 1 Marine. That sounds kind of cool. Anyway, next battle, he's running into the problem that Ultra Ling is only theoretically good against Marine Medevac. It's not actually good. So your spread was really bad, so those Banelings did really well, and this splash damage on these Ultras did pretty good too. Like, see, this spread is really bad. And again, the reason your spread is really bad isn't because you did a bad job of spreading. You actually did split your army up into several groups, like you're supposed to. I mean, you did a decent job of spreading. The problem is just that you have 100 Marines, and it's impossible in a reasonable amount of time to split 100 Marines into the number of groups that it'd take to get them into 3. You would need 33 groups. I mean, imagine 1 group, 2 group, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups. Say, like 33 groups would just take way too long for a polka dot spread. So you're trying to do a polka dot spread, but you have 100 Marines, so it's just completely impossible. So unsurprisingly, you fail to do a reasonable spread, and you lose a bunch of guys to the Baneling splashes in the Ultralisks. But it's okay, because even after all of that, you came out only a tiny bit behind on the army, units lost, and you have a gold, and his gold only has 8 workers at it, so... Oh yeah, now he comes and knocks down your gold. Sploosh. And you do another drop, flying over that spore crawler and that spore crawler. And splish, splish, splash! Kick him in the nose. So, yeah. That's the end of the game. He just totally leaves. In every one of these battles, you sat back to